Orthopedic. Find out the many models and styles available on their updated website by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You always do better with Landmark. And People's Bank and Trust, or they put people first. Well, I'm here with Ed Shimon. I beg your pardon, Ed. He's originally from East Central Wisconsin, a small town called Reedsville, earning a bachelor's degree in meteorology from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He is currently serving as the warning coordination meteorologist in Lincoln throughout his career. The National Weather Service. Ed has been very active in severe weather research. Ed, it's a pleasure to have you here on the program.
All right. Thanks, Avery.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
I am really excited to talk weather with you. So I have some housekeeping stuff. I know the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration released their winter outlook, but I kind of wanted to touch on a recap so far of how the fall has looked compared to averages and whatnot. Are we warmer than normal, cooler than normal? It feels warmer than normal outside of like a week in like October. What have you seen, Ed?
Yeah, we started, meteorological fall starts in September. And in general, we were just slightly below normal, but there were plenty of 80-degree days in September. It just kind of was a cool end to the month that brought us back down below normal. But in general, even then through October, once again, we averaged below normal, but it really wasn't, it didn't seem like it. We had pleasant days, 70s, and it wasn't overly wet, so that didn't, hamper most people's plans. We were slightly below normal in precipitation in October, and I think September was just a, half inch above normal or so. But, in general, the fall hasn't been too eventful weather-wise. Actually, can't complain. There's a little bit of a wind event that we had moved through this past weekend, but 50 mile an hour winds there raise your eyebrows a little bit. But all in all, you really can't complain with how the fall has gone so far.
I'm certainly not complaining. So sounds like it's been a little cooler than usual with some kind of outlying days, but drier than usual as well. Is that
right? Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Well,
there's drought conditions across the area, but not particularly in Christian. Shelby has a little bit of abnormally dry condition as outlined in our drought outlook. But in general, the drought areas are surrounding your general listening area for the most part.
Over the course of the summer, how did that drought outlook look and develop? And now how's it coming along as you alluded to in central Illinois?
It was diminishing this summer. We had several bouts of decent amounts of rain, and it kind of diminished the drought coverage across central Illinois and the rest of Illinois. And then this last couple of months now, it's been kind of setting back in again. So, we're just seeing us head into the winter season on a little bit of a deficit with respect to moisture for the most part.
Well, as I alluded to in the open, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration released its outlook for winter. What are some of the takeaways?
Well, we're not officially in the colder than normal portion of the outlook for the seasonal temperature outlook, but colder than normal is really close by, just to our west, so west and northwest. So it's showing like colder than normal across the upper Midwest and arcing down towards Illinois, but not in. So what that tells me is we're probably going to have a chance of some cooler than normal days, just because the early part of the winter forecast through December was showing above normal temperatures potential. So it looks like January, February might tilt the balance in the other direction. So, we're probably expecting slightly above normal precipitation, it looks like, and that's probably going to be in the January to February timeframe as well. So that might bode us getting a little bit more wintry precipitation as we head through January and into February with this winter season, which kind of matches what happened last year, because last year December was completely snow-free for the most part until like the last couple of days. We finally got our first snowfall, I think 28th or 29th of December. So might see that kind of same pattern here this year.
I know over the last couple of years, it's been a La Nina winter. Am I right?
Yeah, we're going into our third season as a
Is
La Nina winter, which hasn't happened a lot. This is only the third time we've had 3 consecutive La Nina winters.
right. I was going to say that doesn't sound like it's very common occurrence for real quick before we kind of get into that a little bit more. What is a La Nina winter?
It's when the oceanic waters off South America in the Pacific Ocean are just colder than normal, and what that does is adjusts how the jet stream pattern sets up across the mid latitudes across the United States. You wouldn't think it's like, wow, that ocean water is so far away. How can that affect our jet stream? But it does. The oceans kind of drive the wind patterns across the globe, and when that large expanse of water across the eastern Pacific is cooler than normal, it does adjust how the jet stream has a average in the winter, and we see typical El Nino winters where we'll be wetter than normal and sometimes slightly warmer than normal, but this year we're going to maybe we show equal chances above or below normal this winter, but like I said, we might end up tilting towards cooler than normal. But that's what it is. La Nina is that the cooling of the waters and our jet stream responding to that.
And going back to, you mentioned it's the third time ever that there's been 3 consecutive La Nina winters. When was the last time that happened?
Let me see. I believe that was
No, if
quite a
you
few
don't,
years ago.
yeah,
I don't have that one off the tip of my tongue.
no,
But I
no
think I
worries.
can find it for you.
But I guess why is it so rare to see consecutive La Nina winters like we've been seeing them the last few years?
Yeah, because it doesn't. Once you have a condition set up in the Pacific, usually there's an oscillation back in the other direction. The wind patterns across the equatorial Pacific usually oscillate back into a westerly direction, bringing warmer waters on a cycle. So for some reason, we've had just an extended period of easterlies bringing up colder water, near South America. That typically doesn't happen. You usually get a little bit of a flip, and the Earth, kind of responds to, the overabundance of air. High pressure and low pressure usually oscillate eventually, year to year in certain parts of the equatorial Pacific. So we're just not usually seeing this 3-year cold water event across that portion of the Pacific Ocean.
Has there ever been a 4-year in a row La Nina event?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay. Well, obviously we won't know that for another year, but something to pay attention to, perhaps. What type and how much precipitation do you typically see in central Illinois and the Christian County, Shelby, Montgomery County area?
Well, the snowfall amounts are usually in the upper teens to around 20 inches of snowfall. And then we usually see about 4 to 5 days of freezing rain or icing events, which is not fun. I mean, those things can tend to, make things a lot worse with power outages due to ice accumulating on branches that snap and fall into power lines. So, seeing that kind of a wintry mix is kind of a typical thing we see across, the Christian Shelby County area. It's just unfortunate the way the low pressures track across the Midwest. We end up being right on the dividing line between snow in Peoria and freezing rain in Taylorville and all-out rain in Effingham to Lawrenceville. So we are always in the battleground in that transition zone, so to speak.
Taylorville always seems to be right on the line, right? It's kind of like, is it gonna snow? Is it gonna rain? It's always like on the line. Why is that?
It's just the way low pressures tend to track out of the Midwest. They come across the Rockies. Low pressure comes across the Rockies, and when it exits the mountains, it's allowed to, the spin in the atmosphere is allowed to stretch because the ground levels are dropping. So the air mass basically stretches and it spins up faster, creates low pressure, and usually that tracks across Missouri, central Illinois, and just the way that pattern typically sets up is just why we see the dividing line between the warm air getting drawn in from the Gulf and the cold air being drawn down from Canada. And low pressures obviously change tracks with each system, but just on average, we just are always in that dividing line between rain and wintry mix.
And going back to La Nina for a moment, not necessarily but when we're in a La Nina, do we typically see more or less severe weather events, whether that's, as you alluded to, snow, ice, or even tornadoes?
Yeah, we typically do see a little uptick in severe weather occurrence in the winter season because La Nina has a tendency to have a little bit wetter than normal and slightly above normal temperatures in our area, which usually a combination of that in the winters spells some rainstorms coming through and even severe weather as well. So we've had our share of severe weather in November and December in the last 10 years. Tornado events have been some prolific tornado producing systems have come through central Illinois, one being December 1st of 2018 when we had 29 tornadoes on December 1st. So,
including one here in Taylorville that, it hit pretty hard.
Yes, it did.
Go ahead. Yeah. So real quick here. Well, actually, that kind of leads me into a good timeout position. So let me take that timeout for you. That is warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Lincoln, Ed Shimon, here on the WTIM Morning Show. We're going to talk a lot more about how the National Weather Service operates here in just a moment here on WTIM, your information station. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first.
WTIM.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dream. With plans that can save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact me, Daniel Rizzo, agent at Daniel Rizzo Agency, Inc. at 823 West Spresser Street, Suite 1 in Taylorville, or call 217-562-4433 today.
Taylorville Care Center, Taylorville's premier nursing facility, is hiring, and they're offering the best opportunities in town with new wages, elite pay, and premium pay programs for RNs, LPNs, and CNAs. Nurses may be eligible for major medical insurance if qualified as a level 2 nurse. Their exclusive work perks has something for all employees. Quarterly retention bonuses and weekly vaccination incentives are also offered. Apply to learn more. Join the Taylorville Care Center family by finding their ad on Indeed.com. Taylorville Care Center, caring for the community for nearly 50 years.
The air is crisp, the nights are cooler. Fall has arrived. Even though your pool is closed for the season, you can still enjoy the outdoors. When the weather's cool, the best dinners are prepared on the grill. Southern Ledge Pool and Patios in Taylorville can help complement any meal. Stop in today and get 10% off all grilling items, spices, rubs, accessories, sugar-free, healthy gourmet seasoning blends, and more. Whether you're grilling at home or tailgating at a game, Southern Ledge Pool and Patios in Taylorville has just what you need.
At Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, we want you to be a part of the program as well via the Archer's Alley Catch of the Week. Each week, we'll select one of your pictures submitted at centralillinoisoutdoors.com and invite you to tell your story of the great outdoors. We're looking for your kid's first catch or even your first big buck. There's a simple, easy form you can fill out on your phone or computer at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. Send us your story, send us your pic. centralillinoisoutdoors.com and the Catch of the Week, brought to you by Archer's Alley, North 22nd Street in Decatur.
Hello, Panther fans. This is the voice of the Eastern Illinois University Panthers, Mike Brad, inviting all of our fans in Taylorville, Shelbyville, Effingham, and Eastern Illinois to listen to Panther football on your information station, WTIM, and its many platforms, AM, FM, and online. Hear the Panthers as they compete in the Ohio Valley Conference. Follow the Panthers this season on your information station, WTIM, and go Panthers.
The Christian County Economic Development Corporation helps Taylorville, Pana, and other local communities establish and promote their industrial parks, providing constant communication with existing and prospective employers, helping to grow or attract businesses. Find out more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Local farm broadcaster Jared White covers the local agriculture news you need to know. Weekday mornings at 6:40 and weekday afternoons at 12:20. Hear his reports by downloading the free WTIM mobile app at the Apple Store or Google Play.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube, brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. I'm here on the phone with warming coordination meteorologist Ed Shimon. He's with the National Weather Service in Lincoln. It's great to have you here, Ed, to catch us up with the National Weather Service. And, it feels like the National Weather Service is always steady, it's always there. But to be steady in there has to be changes made to improve the system. So, Ed, what kind of
Right.
changes are coming to the National Weather System?
Hey, yeah, we're investing quite a bit more money out of our National Weather Service budget in Washington towards improving our computer systems and giving them higher computing power to improve our high resolution models, and as well also like our ensembling systems where we do multiple model runs of like 100 different iterations and try and average things out. But we're trying to improve our ability to grasp how the weather is going to evolve with our computer system. So that's a big change that we're trying to invest in, and also we're working on advancing our radar software packages as well, so that we can analyze the storms at a higher level of analysis in terms of our motions and where hail is forming or rotations are forming. And so those are two big areas that we're trying to invest in. And in the longevity of our radars, we've had these in since the early 90s, so they're starting to age, and we're replacing things, the pedestal, and making sure that the shelters and everything are able to handle another 10 to maybe 15 years of use. So we're giving them an extension. The service life extension program is going on with our radar to give us the opportunity to get a plan going for how we're going to evolve beyond the current radar systems that we do have. And then locally in the office, we're working on improving our connection to emergency management community and the public, and doing what we call decision support services, where we actually are giving interpretive services for our customers and telling them what the impacts are going to be. Not just, hey, you're going to get 2 inches of snow, figure it out. We're actually going to give we're giving more impactful information so that people can make decisions and work to protect themselves from getting into accidents or getting into harm's way if severe weather is going to roll through.
How many people work at that office in Lincoln?
We've got a staff of 23 assigned at the office here, including 13 meteorologists, and then we have electronics area, an IT specialist, a hydrologist, an administrative staff as well. So 23 people, and 13 of them are primarily on the rotating shifts where they're covering desks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, you're always letting us know about weather in the area. By the way, I must say I appreciate the National Weather Service in Lincoln Twitter page. It's my first stop when I'm wondering what's going on with the weather in the area. I just wanted to make that comment. Do you have that handle in front of you, that Twitter handle, by any chance? If you don't, it's okay. I can look it up in a moment.
Yeah, we have it right on our website, but the Twitter handle is NWS Lincoln IL. So it's NWS and then the word Lincoln and then ending it with IL. Is the Twitter handle.
Ed, we only have about a minute left, but I wanted to give you a chance to tell me a little bit about how these long range forecasts, you talked about how the winter outlook looks, but I kind of wanted to know how those are developed, if you're able to break that down in less than a minute.
Sure. Yeah. The Climate Prediction Center uses a wide range of what we call teleconnections, and I talked about La Nina and the jet stream patterns. So they look at pressure patterns and temperature patterns across the globe and figure out how that's going to affect the jet stream, and in the longer term, the seasonal outlooks, the 3-month outlooks and beyond. So we just look at how the globe is shifting temperature wise and pressure wise, and then try and project that forward using some long range computer models. So it's a lot of things go into it, but pressure over the poles, pressure over the the oceans, and just kind of combining that all together in a big forecast package and putting out those long range outlooks. So they're generalities that are not specifics, but we give trends: warmer than normal, colder than normal, and wetter than normal, or drier than normal.
And trends do change, right?
Yep, yes, absolutely they do.
Right. That's warning coordination meteorologist Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln. Thank you so much, Ed.
No problem. No problem, Avery.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.